Machiavelli, he was a brilliant guy.
Brilliant.
No question about it.
He was really the beginning of political science,
Yes.
if you think about it. People thought I was a wise guy. I said, look, pal, I have never been a wise
A lot
guy.
of guys have said that to me. Oh, Chazz, the way he played that role, he had to have some good street connections. Yeah.
This guy he used to walk around, this guy. He was like, whoa. When he walked into a place, whoa.
Right.
But when I saw that fear in his eyes, I never forgot that. He must have had to sit down. He was well liked, but they whacked his partner, but I'm sure they didn't step on anything anymore.
Another thing my father taught me, maybe this is why you got to pass. He said, Michael, you're going to be put in situations in that life. He said, always be the last one to condemn somebody. Because when your turn comes around, if you're the first one to condemn somebody,
right,
they're going to condemn you right away. He said, always be the last one.
That's a
if
good...
you condemn at all.
If you condemn at all.
Yeah, he said, be the last one. And,
yeah.
You know, my dad taught me so many things that helped me so much during that life.
Wow.
Really. And,
should make a movie about that.
Hey, I got a great writer here.
No, I'm saying seriously.
Well, you know, you bring that up. They're doing, you know, Kennedy Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Marshall.
Yeah.
Ron Shelton. You know,
sure.
They're doing a television series on my life.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Just wrote a year in the making. Just wrote the pilot. They put 3 seasons together. I want to talk to you about it at some point,
yeah,
for sure. And I told Frank that I was meeting with you, and he
yeah,
said, "Oh, you know, he said nothing but great things about you."
Oh, well, thanks.
We'll talk.
Yeah, no, we'll talk. Yeah, absolutely.
2 other things. Sinatra.
Yes.
Here's what happened. I got a very dear friend of mine. His name is Jimmy Patterson. I don't know if you know him. He's a very wealthy guy in Canada, worth several $1 billion. Long story short, he owns the Frank Sinatra compound in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
He bought it from Frank, and everything is exactly the way Frank left it. Exactly.
Right.
So it's my birthday's coming up. Hey, maybe you want to go there for your birthday.
Right.
You can have it for the weekend. You knew Frank.
Yes.
I knew Frank, not well, I'll be honest with you, but I seen him so many times at the Copacabana with my father.
Yes.
My father knew him well. Met him at the Italian American Civil Rights League with Joe Colombo a couple of times. And until today, I hear New York, New York, and I want to start singing.
Yes.
I love him. I love his music.
Well, the great thing about, I got to meet him through De Niro. Bob knew him, and Bob, you know, introduced me to him. And then I would go to his house and have barbecues. And I got to know Barbara. But there was always these people there, these great people. But he was the only guy, Michael. Sinatra was the only guy. And I've worked with, you know, De Niro, I knew all Nicholson, Pacino. But Frank was actually 2 people. Frank was the only guy that I could never get over who he was. I'd be in his company like we are right now, and every once in a while I go, man, that's Frank Sinatra. Right. Jesus God, I'm talking to Frank Sinatra. I just couldn't get over it. I don't know what it was. Yeah. He was like life, big enough. So this interesting thing that happened. We're sitting there one day, everybody's out at his Malibu place, and you know, and it was near 4th of July, I remember, because Danny DeVito was living there, and he had fireworks, and everybody kind of just drifted off, and it was just me and him. It was one of those moments, but I knew I was always around him and talked to him, but I was never really alone with him. Mm-hmm. We were alone this time, and he said to me, he goes, "You don't drink, do you? I never see you drink." And I said, "No, I really don't." I said, I once in a while I drink wine. I love wine with dinner. I said, I have that. So he goes, and he would laugh, and he goes, "You know, I knew a lot of those guys in your movie, you know." I said, "I'm sure you did." Mm-hmm. He goes, "That was a great movie, Chazz." I said, "Thanks, Frank." He goes, "You know why it was a great movie?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because I didn't fucking fall asleep. And when I don't fall asleep, I know it's a great movie." And we're laughing. So then we're talking about life and everything. Then he goes to me, he goes, he's got a martini, right? Mm. And he takes out a toothpick with 2 olives on it, and he goes, "Hey, Chazz, come on. Share my olive." And I didn't know what he meant at first. And he went, "Come on, share my olive," like that. So he's holding out the toothpick with the 2 olives. So I take one of the olives off, and he goes, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah." We pop the olives in our mouth, right? And the next minute he goes, He goes, he goes, I love you, man. You're a great kid. Call me kid, you know how they are. And he hugged me and he kissed me, and I said, thanks, Frank. And we walk inside. And I was like, oh, what the fuck?
What was that, right?
I said, what was that about? So I'm talking to, it was Steve Lawrence, Don Rickles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, Stephen E. going, man, and De Niro was there. So I said, Frank just did this thing with the olives with me. I go, what's that about? And all of a sudden I hear a voice behind me go, Frank shared an olive with you. And I turn around and it's Gregory Peck.
Mm.
And I didn't know they were best friends. You know, then I got to know.
Really?
They were like best friends.
Really?
So I said, yeah, Gregory, what's that about? He goes, that's a sign of great friendship, Chazz. He goes, the Rat Pack used to share their olives when they would drink their martinis. Wow. He goes, that means Frank. He goes, welcome to the club. I was like,
wow.
It's a sign of great friendship. And I got to be honest with you, Academy Award nomination,
Second to that.
Was second to that. This
Wow.
was like, holy, because I loved the Rat Pack. I was too young
Me too.
for the Rat Pack. I mean, I was too young. They were older than I was, obviously. But I'll never forget that. I'll just never forget him telling me he loved me, and he made me share the olive with him.
And don't you have a Sinatra Martini at your restaurant?
Yes, and that's right. I have a restaurant in Manhattan, one of the best Italian restaurants, Chazz Palminteri. I'm just opening up one in White Plains now, 264 Main Street. I throw it out there.
Yes.
And
I looked at the menu, but it
yes,
it made my mouth water.
yes,
To be honest with you.
and I have great restaurants, and I'm very, very excited. And I had this BV Martini that was my family's from Messina. My mother's from Messina. In Sicily, and there's the person there who makes who makes vodka, and we have a BV vodka, and I call it BV means it's the way you say drink in Italian is beve,
Right.
but in Sicilian dialect it's BV, and we call it BV, and it's like a Sinatra Martini, which is great.
I'm very excited to eat there when I come into.
You
the
got
city.
please,
Sure.
you're my guest. You must come,
100%.
and I can't wait till you and Camille come, and you have to eat there. And I just had a ball talking. I'm sorry, I could talk too much sometimes, you know.
No. Listen, people want to hear you.
Yeah, I know,
They hear
but
me all the time. They want to hear you.
But I'll, you know.
No, you were terrific, and I got to tell you, we have something in common. Although you're a lot further on than I am, but I have a restaurant. It's actually a pizza place called Slices.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what happens. A guy I know from the neighborhood. I know him 35 years.
Yeah.
He was with us, right? And he's been in the restaurant business. His father was a baker, and I supported him in restaurants throughout the years. So we sell a restaurant that way. Do you remember Primo's on Sunset Boulevard?
Sure.
Okay, that was a place.
That was a legitimate place.
Legitimate place.
Legitimate place.
Tony Rivera, you probably met him if you were in there. Tony
Yes.
was the owner, and
Yes.
my partner. So we sell out the restaurant, and I said, what do you want to do now? He said, I want to go into the pizza business. I said, Tony, everybody and their brothers in pizza. What
Right.
are we going to do different? He said, give me 2 years and I'll show you. Travels all over the world, spent 6 months in Italy.
Right.
He comes back with a recipe for pizza, Roman-style pizza.
Roman style. Okay.
Roman-style pizza, and a system to franchise that's out of this world.
Right.
So we have 8 stores now.
Fantastic.
2 in LA, 1 here in Newport Beach, and not now, but next time you come
Yeah.
out, you're gonna love the pizza. And I see you like meatballs.
Yes.
I would have had some meatballs. I just wanted you to taste them.
Yeah, oh no, I would
Because
love to.
They're terrific, but we don't have them now. But
No,
another
that's
time
all
we'll
right.
do it.
That's all right.
But yeah, so we got something in common. I'm enjoying it. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? God is good, man.
Yeah.
God is good. Life is good. You know, it's as long as you do it's a simple thing. Do the right thing, man. It's very simple. You know, my father said life is like dominoes, you know. If you hit the wrong domino, you go the wrong way.
You're right.
You know, if you hit the right domino, you go the right way. Look, am I perfect? Of course not. Do I screw up? Absolutely. I always tell people, I'm not perfect, man. I'm a work in progress. I try to do the right thing, but can I screw up? Of course I can. So I always like to say, you know, I don't want anybody to think I'm perfect. I could screw up, but I try not to.
Well, you know what, Chazz? We certainly relate to one another. I tell everybody, I said, look, my whole speech is, if God can save me and turn my life around,
Right.
because at one point in time, I might have been the worst person in the room. I mean that. You're in that life, you're on the street, you know,
Right.
you can sugarcoat everything, you could say what you want to say, but it's a tough life.
Yes.
And you do things that,
Yes.
you know, later on you regret. And same thing, I'm far from perfect, but
Yes.
I know I'm better than I was back then.
That's the main
Thankfully.
thing.
Better.
But even more than that, Michael, you share what you learned, like going through the skin of the dragon, and you're taking that and you're passing it out there. And that's worth more than anything. That's worth more than anything. Your podcast, I mean, really, I mean, that's why I decided to do a podcast. I just wanted to do it because I just said, you know what? I have things I want to say.
Yeah.
And the pandemic hit, so I said, you know what? Okay, no, I wasn't making movies. My TV show got canceled. My restaurants closed down. I said, I'm going to do a podcast. I have things I want to say and share. And that's what I did, you know.
Same with me. Everything
Yeah.
shut down. You know, I had like 40 speaking dates postponed. So
Yeah.
I said, what are we going to do? Spoke to my partner. He said, let's do a podcast, YouTube. And that's how it happened. And you know
Wow.
what? It's been great.
And it's been, well, it's good.
It's been great. Now I got spoiled. I don't want to travel anymore. I've been traveling
Exactly.
for 25 years. Now I want to stay home.
But it's good, man. You know, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I always, like you, stay away from people who are infectious. They
Yes.
can only bring you down. One thing I learned in life, you can never bring somebody up if you don't want to, if they don't want to go up. You can't. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how much you want to tell them, you could help them. If they don't want to go up, there's nothing you can do.
100%.
But the reverse is not true. Somebody bad could bring a good person down. They can.
100%.
Because the negativity in the world is much more stronger than the positive sometimes. And the negative people can bring you down. So I stay away from negative people.
You're right.
I just walk away from them.
What I tell people all the time, especially a lot of these youngsters, you know, I deal with a lot of these young gangbangers.
Yes.
And I tell them, remember this, in life, you are who you hang out with.
Oh, no question.
That's it.
No, I had friends that I had to walk away from,
Yeah.
who I loved. I had a friend, Joey IV. We called him Joey IV. Because every time you're with him, you got to be on intravenous. You know, you got to like put the needle in you just because he sucks the life out of people.
Right.
It's always everything is down. Everything is negative.
Negative.
Everything
Hate
is
that.
bad. And I just go, you know what, man? I can't do it no more.
Right.
It's always, and they have drama. Every moment is drama.
Right.
This guy said this, I got to go back and, look, babe, I gave up that street shit. I don't want no part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I did that when I was a young kid. I heard about all that. Leave me alone. I want no part of that now. It's drama like that. I stay away from them.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I get
You gotta
called.
cut them out of your
They
life.
want to invite. You know, they invite me for dinner. Some of these guys, not even made guys, just guys who were in the life, but not made guys. Excuse me. And I would say, no, I can't, man. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
100%. I totally agree with you. You know, sometimes you just got to cut things out of your life and
Yes,
move
like
on.
it's like that great scene in Goodfellas when Paul Sorvino says, "And now I got to turn my back on you."
Yeah.
He says, "You know, I can't do it. Here's the money, and I got to turn my back on you." That's it.
So many. You know what? In so many of these movies, there was so many great little tidbits that
Yeah.
people can learn from. Just little things, just that.
Yeah.
But truthfully, out of all of them, Bronx Tale was the best. You had the best mottos, you had the best sayings, the best thing in that movie. I love too. $20, you cut yourself out of
Get rid of it. That's a true story.
Yeah,
He
no,
said
I
to me,
agree.
like, I was so upset about this $20 because he made me look bad. And then he said to me, he goes, he's never going to bother you again.
Right.
He's never going to ask you for money again. He's out of your life for $20. You got it up cheap. Forget about it.
Some of the best lines.
And
in
I
that
get
movie.
people that say, but it's like you say, you know, you get rid of him. He can never ask you for money again.
That's right.
How crazy was I? And I'm going to tell you this quickly. I knew I was getting a lot of money from when I sold my script. I knew I was going to get like a lot, a million something. So what I did was, because I knew my friends, so everybody's going to, you know, one of my close friends who knew said, Chazz, the guy's going to hit you up. You know that. I said, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I called each one of them up, and I said, hey, you know, I'm in L.A. I'm working on, you know, I wasn't famous. I said, things are a little rough. Could you lend me like $5,000? I said, I swear to God, I'll pay you back. Every one of them said, Chazz, I can't. I'm married. I got kids. They weren't made guys. They were just regular guys, but they were my friends. Chazz, I could love to do it. I said, you know what? I get it. Don't worry about it. Called me this other guy. Could you lend me $5,000? Well, what can I said, I don't know why I could. Chazz, you know, I can't. No, they couldn't do it, right?
Right.
2 weeks later, front page, boom, I'm getting $1 million something. I knew they couldn't call me.
That was great.
That's
That's great.
I did a Machiavelli on them. I knew
Right.
they couldn't call me no more. That was it. Done. Over. And they said, you son of a... But I had one guy who still did.
Yeah.
He still did. He had the balls to call me up.
You know, it's funny too because I did some a little bit differently though. When I had a lot of money,
Right.
I used to go out and borrow money from guys. Hey, can you lend me this? Can you lend me that?
Yeah.
On the street.
You-
Because then they never realized that I had money.
If they knew that you had money, you had a share. You know, you're in a crap game. I remember I used to throw the dice for the wise guys, and I did it the way we did it back then. We did it in the cellar, in a hole. You remember? We used to call it the hole with the pipes and everything, and we would throw the dice. And I remember if you won, by the time you won to get out the door,
You have nothing. You got nothing left.
you know, let me 5, let me 20. I need 100. Do me a favor.
Right.
By the time you get out the door, you're broke. It's the worst.
I know.
They must take a piece of what you have.
100%. I was, I had the gas business. I'm rolling the money. I used to go down. Remember Andrew, lend me 40, 50,000. I go, oh yeah, Mike, no problem. I'll give you a point a week. This way, nobody bothered me for anything. I paid them back always.
Right.
But always did that.
It's always something.
Always.
So it's like the same guys that they can't help themselves. They cannot. I had a guy who finally a wise guy gave him a job. He was broke. Fast Eddie, I'll never forget Fast Eddie. And Fast Eddie, and I said, Eddie, how you doing? He goes, oh, great. He's taking care of me. This is the '60s. He goes, he's giving me $700-800 a week. That's big money.
Big money.
I said, he goes, yeah, you give me $700. He goes, I steal $300-400. I said, Eddie, what you got to steal for? He's giving you $700. He goes, says to me with a straight face, Michael. He goes, really, you want the guy to have no respect for me? I said, what? He goes, he steals from his boss. So I got to steal from him. He'll think I'm a schmuck if I don't steal.
Right.
I just walked away. You understand that mentality?
Yeah, absolutely.
I walked away. I said, Eddie, I'm sorry. I give up.
Absolutely.
Great stories, man. It's just, I could talk to you for hours.
I have one last story because you remind me, Frankie G. I used to call him Frankie Gangster because all he ever wanted to be, that movie, Ramsey Hill, all he ever wanted to be was a gangster. I get locked up on this big case. Giuliani indicts me. There's about 8 of us.
Right.
6 o'clock, I just got out, right? He gave me $1 million bill. I just got out late that night.
Right.
6 o'clock in the morning, boom, 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 knock on the door. So they're going to arrest me again? They always come early. I open the door. Frankie looks at me. He says, what happened? I'm not part of this indictment? Everybody's going to think I'm a rat? What, are you kidding me? What happened? I'm looking at him. Yeah, I'm looking.
He's pissed.
Yeah. I said, I said, well, go give yourself up then. You tell him you'll take my place. Take the rap.
Right.
But this was him. He was very upset that he wasn't part of the indictment.
Wow.
I said, don't worry about it. They're coming for you.
They'll
They
come
came
for you.
from Maleta. He got 15 years.
He got 15 years.
Yes.
Oh,
Anyway.
wow.
Chazz,
Well, thank you.
this was brilliant. And, I appreciate you giving me so much of your time.
No, I loved it. And when you called me, I was very excited. You said you'd be on the show. I said, absolutely, I would love to be on the show.
Well, I'm so happy you were able to come here.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and it worked out really good because, my wife said, I said, what, you want to go to LA for a little while? I said, well, Gabrielle will come, we'll see some of our old friends. And I said, there's a couple of writers here that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. We're doing, my friend Nick Vallelonga, who wrote Green Book, was great,
movie,
and my friend George Gallo, who wrote Midnight
Gallo,
Run,
yeah.
and great.
Yeah, great.
The three of us are talking about doing a remake for a TV series of Pope of Greenwich Village.
Oh, wow.
So
Love
we'll
that
see.
movie.
We'll see. In this business, I always say, we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
You never know. To me, it never happens till you're doing it.
Right.
Everything's going to happen, and then sometimes it don't. But they're all both great writers, so we'll see what happens.
And a great movie. That'd
Great
be a
movies.
series, yeah.
Great. I love Green Book, and I love Midnight Run, and George. They're both like great writers. Great
Terrific.
writers. So great.
Excellent, my friend.
Hey, my pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
God bless.
This is maybe the first of many times we get
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah. Let's get together. Let's hang out a little bit.
All right, you got
We
it.
can tell some great stories.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
What can I tell you? Brilliant. Chazz Palminteri, one of my favorite actors of all time. Just brilliant. So appreciative that he came into the studio, flew in from New York to LA to Orange County to come in and sit down with me. Keep tuning in, keep subscribing. We really appreciate it. So, how do I always leave you? Be safe, be healthy, God bless, and yes, I will see you next time.